everyone, it's Nicole and I have another layout using the Double Scoop Studio Calico kit. This is the third or the fourth layout. The third layout using this kit, and it took me an hour and 19 minutes to complete. I'm going to be using the Lawn Fawn wood grain as the background, and then the Amy Tangerine, it's sort of creamy and wood grainish looking hearts as part of my layers. And then I'm also going to be using a piece of scrap that was left over from another layout, and it's a piece of pattern paper that says love you throughout the whole pattern. And I used that piece of pattern paper in the size that, was left over from the other page. And I just bought this Heidi Swap wood grain at Michael's, and I absolutely love it. But before I use that wood grain stamp, I'm going to mat the photo. And it was just a piece of scrap that was left. And I decided to leave that little piece of brown cardstock that's underneath the photo. And at this point, I don't know if I'm going to use it as part where I'm going to put my title or where I'm going to journal. And now I'm going to use that stamp that I got at Michael's. And it's a Heidi Swap stamp. And it's a beautiful wood grain. I've been waiting for years to find the wood grain that I wanted. And this is the one that I really love. And plus, I got to use a 40% coupon, so pretty good deal. So I'm stamping the doily just so the doily has some texture. And I'm cleaning the stamp, and then I realize, no, I want to stamp it some more on that piece of journaling paper that was from a 6x6 card, because I want to use it as more elements on the page. So I'm going to ink it up again and just stamp the bottom of, that pattern paper. And I'm going to end up cutting or punching some half circles out of it. And I thought at first maybe I could put, that piece of journaling paper. And when I look at it now, it looks okay. I could have left it there, but for some reason I didn't like it that day. So I'm going to end up moving it. And I'm going to put the doily to the bottom right and the top left, just because I wanted the eye to go from the left to the right, because he was closer to the edge of the photo than she was. And then I end up doing all the, the splatters and everything from left to right. And that's why I'm going to put the doilies left to right. Although I would have preferred the doily closer to her face than his face. But the way the photo was taken, I found it looked better the other way. Now, these piece of die cuts, it was actually a pattern paper that I just cut apart. The backside was all just little pieces of, like tickets and almost like ephemera. And so every time I start a page, I take those out and, see if there's anything that coordinates with the page that I'm doing right now. Now, the kit also came with some die cut feathers, and I'm trying to use those up too. And again, I'm going to my kit first, and then I decided not to change what I had put aside 3 kits ago as my extra. I looked at it, and there's still tons in there, and there's such a variety of colors in all the kits, though, that I don't feel like I have to make a customized one for every single kit, because if you're thinking labels and that kind of stuff, you're sure to find not numbers, but elements that are going to fit the colors. Even the labels from October Afternoon or anything like that, I'm sure to find something that'll coordinate. So I wanted my letters or my title to be in red, because my main color right now is, up to now, is brown and red. So I want my letters to be red. So I'm going to use my Copic markers, and these letters at first were the Amy Tangerine rubber gray alphas, and I'm going to color them in red, and it turns out really good. They're a nice deep red, and I really like that. I mean, when you're changing a color of a sticker, an alpha sticker, you are limited somewhat. There's no way I could have made this like a light red, for example, because it wouldn't have covered over the gray. But it's kind of neat that you're able to change it at all. Like if I want to change it in black, I could have brown, anything that was darker, like dark green I could have done. And so it's really neat that with this one alpha, I'm already working on page number 5 with this kit. And the last page is the only page that I did not use this alpha on the page, because I was able to change the color of it every time, or when I needed to. And even if they're close to each other on the in the album, it won't matter because it's going to have different colors anyway. It's going to look like I used different alphas. So now I'm just going to cut a piece of that pattern paper. It was a 6x6 pattern paper that I had taken out last layout, and it's just got journaling lines on it. And I'm going to put it underneath the photo, and I decided that's where I'm going to put my journaling. And I'm doing another page with the two of them, so I'm going to do most of the journaling, I believe, on the other page. And basically, I just want to talk, about their relationship. The age span between my 3 kids is huge. There's 6 years between each kid. So between my first kid and my last kid, there was 12 years. So she was actually, living here for only 6 years of his life. And he doesn't really remember her living here. But him and the middle sister, they were together for 12 years, right? So they have really, really close relationship. And just the personality she has, she's always been, I always called her, his little mom, because she took care of him as much as I did, and still does. I mean, she's 20 and he's 14 now, and he's taller than her and everything, but she still takes care of her little brother. And even if she, lives out on her own, she takes him for a night, and they do a sleepover. And so they still have an awesome relationship. And if she comes over and he doesn't give her hugs, she gets upset because, and I work shift work, so I work nights. So she was the one like, okay, you need a bath or a shower, get in there and, get it done, and okay, it's 10 o'clock, you need to go to bed. And she was like the little mom. And, in the morning, get out of bed, you got to get ready for school. Like, even though she was getting ready for school too, she'd get after him, to get ready. So she was really a little mom to him. So the title of this page is going to be Siblings or Besties. And I'm pulling out some stickers, and this is a American Craft. I believe it was Amy Tangerine. And this is one of the sticker pack, I guess, that I've had in that container that I pulled out to use with these kits, and it's almost all gone. Like, I'm using it to the very last of the stickers, and I like that. Now what I did was, I have quite a few of those sticker books. I've pulled in a couple. Okay, the recording had stopped, so it's a good thing I check every 5 minutes. But all I was saying was, I pulled in a few of those sticker books that I had in my stash. I did add that to the kit to use with this kit, if that makes any sense. What I did was, I took a container and I put a whole bunch of stuff from my stash in there. So I go to my kit first, and then I go to that other kit that I made, and try to use that up. And then if I can't find anything that coordinates, then I go to my stash. But normally, I didn't put washi tape in there and my twine because it would have taken too much room. So that kind of stuff is in their own place, because I mean, how many washi tape can you put aside in twine? So I left those where it needs to be. And where I got cut off, I don't remember if I said, But the tool that I'm using is EK Success Powder Tool, and you can get it at Simon Says. And someone was telling me that, because I said it'll probably last forever, and someone was telling me that their powder tool, they find that the bristles, like they're halfway gone. And she was asking me if she thought that she was being too rough, or she didn't know if she was being too rough with it. I've had mine for a year, and maybe before you start, using it, what I do is I kind of shake it to the front like you would with paint that you want to get it to the front, and you can kind of see the powder kind of spouts out a little bit, so then the powder is starting to come out, and then you don't have to push as hard on it so that the bristles, mine still fall. I still find some that fall, but I've had mine for a year and the bristles are still in good shape. But if I can see that if I'm going to need to buy another one of these, it's because the bristles are all used up. But try, kind of putting it downwards and shaking it and getting the powder going, so that you don't have to push as hard to get the stickiness away, I guess. And I went through another book and got a whole bunch of stickers. And what I do is, once I get my layout done, I just take a whole bunch of embellishments and just throw it in the middle of the page. Don't know where they're going to go. I usually say 5 to 7, but lately it's like 7 to 11 different types of embellishments. And I just throw it in the middle of the page. And once I feel like I have enough, I start putting it together. And if you notice, a lot of the stickers that I pulled out is gold. And if you've been watching my YouTube channel for any amount of time, you know that I'm not a gold fan. But I found with this layout, I really liked it because with the background, the wood grain background, the gold really went really well with it. And I had on my Killikit video, Celine Scrap Passion asked me, because I mentioned that 12 out of 23 layouts I had used pattern paper as my background, and she asked me how I liked it, because I was a cardstock girl. Like, if you watched any videos that I was pulling or buying from Studio Calico, I was buying 4 or 5, almost every month. I bought craft white, grays, and and whenever I bought Stampin' Up orders, I bought earthy colors, cardstock. And the last few months I've been using pattern as my background, and yes, Celine, I really do like it. And one of the main reason I like it too is because I always get the add-on and the more pattern paper, and I'm getting to use that second sheet instead of just sticking it in my stash, and it might be years before I use it. I'm using it right now, so that when I'm done my kits, I've almost used all 40 pattern papers. And I don't mind that the second sheet, if I use all 20 that is a background, I don't care. Like, it's there, and it's there for me to use, so that it's going to feel good. And I'm actually working on my 5th layout. I'm almost done. I might have like 10 minutes left. And 4 out of 5 layouts I use pattern as my background. So yes, I am enjoying it. And a lot of it is because I'm getting to use my patterns. I'm getting to use my stuff. And there's nothing that feels better that when you get at the end of the kit and you have so much used up. And yes, a lot of people were saying, I can't believe you did use a lot of stuff, but I can't believe how much stuff you still have left. But you got to remember that I had 40 pattern papers, and for some reason they gave us, I think it was almost an 8.5 by 11 sheet of those labels, and then they gave us also a package that had labels. So I did have quite a bit of labels left, and they were all the same colors. So for me to use them on every layout, all the layouts would have looked the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move them forward to this kit, and I'm going to try to use them on this kit too and try to use them up. And so that was the main reason why I didn't use a lot of those labels, is because a lot of them were the same color. So I didn't want to use that my layouts all had the same, because what I do is for labels, I use that as my base for my embellishments, and I didn't want all my bases to look the same. Like I wanted some difference. So now I have this washi tape that is from my stash, and it's red, and it's red wood grain. So I think I've used it maybe once or twice, but I absolutely love it. So I thought this would be a perfect layout to use it. And for some reason it was stuck to the roll. Like I couldn't get it to unstick, but I finally got it to work. And now I'm going to use my Scotch quick dry adhesive, and I'm going to glue everything down. And in about 3 layouts from now, you're going to see the accident that I had with this Scotch quick dry adhesive. It is quite funny. I was like, if I wouldn't mute the clips, the reaction that I got when that happens, and I won't even say what happened, but it was hilarious. Maybe I should have tried to keep that little clip, but I couldn't believe it. So that's going to be I think it's in 3 layouts, but you won't be able to miss it. Like it's going to be very apparent when it happens. So now I'm to the spot where I'm gluing down, all my embellies, and on the gold heart, I'm going to use my foam tape. And it is a huge roll that I got at Custom Crops, and it is from Scotch 3M. And someone was telling me they saw that it was on sale for like $33 or $36. And I've had mine. It'll be a year next month in March. And it still looks like a huge roll. Now, if I compared it to the one that's not open, you would see how much I've used from it. Like I've used a lot, but it's still going strong. So I'm thinking that it'll probably last close to 2 years, because the roll is, there's still, and I know the smaller it gets, the quicker that you go around the circle, you know what I mean? Like this quicker it unravels. But I still have quite a bit. So I'm thinking it's going to last me another year. And I had someone mention too that their foam tape turned yellow, and mine hasn't started yet. And not only turned yellow, but she noticed that it wasn't as sticky. So she had to start putting extra adhesive to get it to glue. Now, I haven't noticed that yet on mine, but it kind of made me think that maybe I should be, I don't know, somehow wrapping it. I haven't figured that out yet, but just as a word of precaution. And from those stickers, there was a little border with a scallop. Now I want to use that on this layout, and I'm going to put it right underneath the photos, just above where, this is where I'm going to do the journaling. And now I'm going to add some sprinkles using some Mr. Huey's. I tried the gold from Mr. Huey's, and because I had gold on the page and you could not even see it. So I went to get my Heidi Swapp Gold Lame, and that you could really see it on this layout, and it provided, a really nice shine. And then I used just regular Mr. Huey. I used some white, some red, and I probably should use my Heidi Swapp red also, and maybe the white, just to see if it was going to make any change, different. The red kind of, you can see it, but it's sort of in the kind of soaked into the background, and the white, you can really see it though. And then I'm going to show you some close-ups and some, I'm looking for the S, and it had stuck to the back of the pattern paper. And when I did that, I stuck my finger in one of the dots, the white dots. So then what I did was I just made it bigger. And now I'm going to, like I said, show you some close-ups and then some still pictures. If you want to see more still pictures, you can go to Two Peas in a Bucket and Studio Calico, and you can look in the members gallery, Nicole Jones 911, or you can join me on Facebook. The link is in the description, or on Pinterest, and the link is also on my YouTube channel. And just to FYI, I did cancel my Studio Calico subscription because I'm 5 kits behind. So that's it. The page is done. Thanks for watching. Bye.